Delighted to welcome Chris O'Shea, Pratt's Bottom's finest, all the way from LA. It's about 2:45 in the morning over there, isn't it? What's going on?
Oh, mate, I'm so ready. I'm into this, and yeah, early morning, whatever. It's always nice to see you, mate.
Tell me about, right, because we've just, before we came on air there, because I always tell everybody you're from Pratt's Bottom, which is in Kent, by the way. It is an actual place that's in Kent. But why do I tell people that?
I think because you like to say the words, Rob. I think that's why. I am. If you like, I'm from Pratt's Bottom in that I lived there for most of my life when I was a younger man, and then moved away to a more sensible sounding town. But yeah, I think that might be why. I was actually from Upper Pratt's Bottom. There is a good end and a bad end of Pratt's Bottom.
We're going to talk. We're going to talk. We'll talk footy and what have you in a minute. You've just finished on Riverdale. You were the baddie, Percival Pickens. Although I did read you're immortal, apparently.
Spoken as a man who has Googled that fairly recently. I've got your number. Yes, Percival Pickens was an immortal wizard, and he was in the last episode that I filmed, taken to hell by the devil for his crimes.
I tell you what, though.
Yeah.
I tell you what, though, was because it looked like really, as these things go, it looked like really good fun. It's a great character to play. But one of the scenes that I really liked, actually talking sport, was the boxing match.
You've not seen it,
I've seen the boxing match. I'm telling you now, it was like Raging Bull. De Niro had nothing on that. I'm telling you now. Tell people who haven't seen it about the boxing match.
Oh yeah, so about 4 or 5 episodes in, I open the script and it turns out they're boxing for the future of Riverdale, you know, and we filmed it. We filmed it on a really snowy day in about February. And what normally happens with these things is that you film your half of the fight with the stunt coordinator that looks like your opponent, and he films his part of the fight with the stunt coordinator who looks like you, and then they fit the two halves of the fight together in the edit. But on the day, of course, this is mid-COVID, both stunt coordinators phoned in sick, so KJ and I were boxing each other for a day. Luckily, we both love boxing, so it was really good fun. But he kept trying to get me to hit him for real because he didn't believe the punches were selling. So he was like, "Yeah, actually hit me, like actually."
Did you? I was going to ask because the thing is, how many times have you been, even as a kid, where you've gone, "Oh, hang on," you know, and it sort of gets a bit out of hand. There was none of that going on.
Yeah, but I tell you what, when that does happen on camera, it does actually make for quite an exciting scene. So maybe that was it. A bit of needle does help.
Okay, we will talk football in a minute. So what happens now? Because this fascinates me. I love it. So do you now have to go to auditions? Does your agent ring you up and go, right, we've got an audition for this, and is it remote auditions, or do you have to fly in and what have you?
Well, you know, post-COVID these days, you film your audition at home and then send it in. But yeah, it's pretty much like that. It's just like any other trade, trying to get another job. Your agent gives you opportunities. You film them on the camera and send them in the next day. Luckily, I've got Holly here who helps me tape for hours on end, you know, every night. But yeah, no, I'm looking for the next thing, and I've just got back from Europe actually, yeah, it's just about trying to find the next job, next gig. And you know, maybe they'll have me back on Riverdale.
Does it worry you? Are you the worrying type, or are you in a position where you go, actually, I really want to do this, I really want to do that, or is there anything that, you know, that's in the pipeline for us?
No, I'm a bit long in the tooth for worrying about acting jobs these. When I first started, maybe, but I think you send in your auditions and then you don't think about it. Anything else drives you crazy, you know, like. Yeah. That tends to be how I handle it, and luckily because of this last job, I'm not of a pressing need, you know, so yeah. I can afford to be a bit more selective, you know, and you know, for the first time in my career, I'm in a position to be a bit choosy.
Brilliant.
You know,
Good for you.
You know, I can do things like the Rob McCaffrey interview.
Yes, absolutely. That's the pinnacle. To be fair, that is. Listen, I was just thinking. I wonder what would they say.
As I said to you before, it really is. The Soccer AM days left a deep impression on me, actually.
I was just thinking. I wonder what they'd sing for you if you were a footballer. What song would they? See, I was Chris O'Shea because they used to sing John O'Shea, didn't John O'Shea, Chris O'Shea. Were you any good? Could you play football? Were you any good as a footballer?
I could play, Rob. Yeah, do you know our team won the league the other day? Massive news.
No, go on.
Yeah. No, the Santa Monica Airport Soccer League. The Santa Monica Airport Football League. We won for the 4th time in 15 years. I'm reliably informed. O'Shea scored the opening goal.
No way. Go on, tell us.
So just sort of bounced up inside the area off the keeper, swiveled, hit it. I caught it really decently, probably harder than I needed to actually. Top corner from just inside the area. Were
you on that sort of like Topical Times football book 1972 with the leg sort of horizontal to the ground? Are you in that kind of position?
Do you know? I don't know the particular reference you mean, but in my head it's got like. Who would have been the one of the German sweepers who could do that?
Yeah.
Like Matthias Sammer or somewhere. Yeah, it was. They kind of unkindly suggested that in the same way that a snake unhooks its jaw to eat an egg, I must have unhooked my hip to get it up there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Gee,
no, it was great. On our way to a 3-0 win and the league title. So.
How did you celebrate after you win the Santa Monica Airport Football League?
You go round one of your mates' houses and it's Coors Light and jacuzzis until midnight.
Oh, shut up.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
Shut up.
Yeah, but they're all Americans, so, you know, the quality of the chat is... There's me trying to be all banter, and, you know, it's all stock options and, like, yeah.
Hey, listen, it's been a bad time for your team, hasn't it, so far this season?
Do you mean our team?
Don't give away.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, no, awful.
Yeah, for your team, Liverpool, it's been a really bad time, hasn't it?
I think we've been spoiled of late, so that this feels like disaster. I remember in the Phil Babb, John Scales days, when opening the league season with, 2 points out of 9 was just below average. It's not been great, mate. Yeah.
You did.
Next game, Bournemouth at home.
You did text me worried. There was a worried text I received saying, "I hope Salah doesn't go. I hope Mo Salah doesn't go. I hope he doesn't go."
Did we sell the wrong one?
Well, this is what people are asking. Well, I mean, you were very pro Mo, weren't you, to stay?
Well, I mean, just on the numbers. You think who scores our goals most seasons? It's going to be Mo, and I think it still is. But turns out, I'd always got the feeling that Mane believed he was the one, and didn't quite like that nobody else seemed to. And now there he is, 5 goals for Bayern Munich in about 2 or 3 games. Looking back, like, told you so, which hurts a little bit.
Do you think Sadio Mane, because he seems like, I don't know the bloke, but he seems like a lovely fella. Do you think he's the type to sort of to have a little snigger? Do you think he's that kind of character?
No. But you could, if you put yourself in that position, you couldn't help being a bit like, told you I was the main man. Like just in the back of your mind. I don't think he probably says it, but I think there's a bit of him that probably believes it. I just think Liverpool. You know how there's been like revolutions in football, like Barcelona had this revolution under Guardiola, and they sort of changed football. I think Klopp's revolution was sort of trying hard. You know what I mean? Like his revolution was about effort. It's like, oh, what would happen if 11 people tried as hard as they could? That was his idea. And I think everyone's caught up. Everyone tries as hard as they can now. And Liverpool's trick is, that is now the minimum. We need to find something else.
I think. Do you know what? I know you sort of. I think what you say is in the press, certainly over here, and even Andy Robertson, the fullback. It's almost. I think he actually said, and I'm maybe misquoting him. I don't think I am. He said teams know how we're going to play.
Yeah.
Because the fullbacks, Trent and him, and it was sort of like, wow, how do we do? And of course, teams get wise to it, don't they?
Yeah, and you can definitely see that where, like in the early part of games, where all of a sudden it's like, oh, we're wide open here. How do they keep getting through on goal every time? And it's because they've obviously looked and gone, oh, if we just keep our wingers high and hit them as soon as we and break like that, then we can get at this lot. And yeah, you're right. I think that we've been worked out to that extent. Yeah, a little bit.
Who's your favourite Liverpool player of all time?
All time, John Barnes. Can't help myself. And of the current crop, I want to try for someone a little more. I like Oxlade-Chamberlain when he plays. He doesn't seem to be flavour of the month these days. I mean, yeah, I've got a soft spot for Hendo because I think he's underrated. I think because he tries so hard, his ability goes under the radar. I think he's got a lot of ability. But yeah, that's where I sit. What about you? Who's your favourite?
I like Andy Robertson. I've got to say, I've got a soft spot for Liverpool left backs. My all-time hero was just one of the greatest blokes I've also had the privilege to meet. A guy called Joey Jones, which is going back. He was the first Welshman to win a European Cup in '77 with Liverpool. He played, and he was the crowd's, the cops' hero. He used to run out like this and show his tattoos to the crowd, and he was all effort, and he was my all-time hero, Joey Jones. So yeah, Andy Robertson.
I've never heard of Joey Jones.
Oh, Joey Jones. It's before your time. You're a whippersnapper.
No, but like I've heard of like Roger Hunt and the other ones who won the European
honestly,
Cup.
Google when we get off here. Google Joey Jones, legend. Listen, where do you watch the games? How do you when you because you were in Toronto, weren't you, doing Riverdale? That's right, isn't it?
We were up in Vancouver.
Vancouver, was it? Sorry, my mistake. How could I forget that penthouse flat you sent all those pictures of? Oh, look at me here. Have you seen my new gaff?
The good thing about that was I could, at about 6 a.m. I could sort of roll out of bed and flick it on, and that's my sort of.
It's the actor's life, and it's the Hollywood life. You've gone soft.
Well,
you've gone soft. I'm telling you.
And there wasn't a lot more soft to get either, and I've managed to find out how.
Now listen, where do you watch the games? Where say you're at home now, what on the telly, or do you go out to a pub or something, or what do you do?
I mean, they're on at about 7 a.m. So I mean,
straight to the pub
England
then.
And it's the European Cup, I can make it to a pub for 7 a.m. for a bit of an occasion. But I mean, it is roll out of bed, cup of tea, watch it on the sofa.
Brilliant.
With my mates on the WhatsApp. I love it, actually. I love it as a sort of routine. Mates on the WhatsApp, football on the TV, cup of tea. Yeah, that's my weekend. Then I go off and play volleyball.
What?
Yeah, I know. It's terrible. I don't... Rob, my knees are going... I can't play football forever. You know, you can't play football forever.
I know that feeling. I know.
You need to find another one.
What? How big...
You don't play golf, do you? Are you a golfer?
Oh, it used to be. It bores me rigid now. Listen, how big, I mean, well, it is. It's massive, isn't it, with all the guys over there? How big is the Premier League in the States?
Oh, huge, mate. Yeah, you can tell whenever the Premier League are in town, you can tell by the draw that they are. I think that when that they do the sort of fan parks, Tim Howard comes out and they do those fan parks, and they get 20,000 people. It's like, and there isn't even a game to see, and there's 20,000 people just come to hang out. That I think that shows you everything, and the way that they can, I think United played Liverpool in, I want to say Dallas, and they got a crowd of like 90,000. So for a friendly. So,
and is that locals? Is who's that? Who's that made? Just the local US guys? Or expat fans?
No, I don't think, because I think the expats wouldn't go to a friendly. They'd be like, no, it's just a friendly. I'm not going to go out. But I think it is locals desperate for a bit of that, Premier League authenticity. It's a similar thing when the NFL comes to London. It's like from nowhere you get like 100,000 people going to an NFL game in London. It's like, where are all these NFL fans? Like,
are you an American sports fan? Do you like the baseball or the NFL, the basketball?
Horrible. Wouldn't touch it. No, 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 you wouldn't, would you? I mean, have you ever tried to watch it? Jeez. The I went to a baseball game. I sort of was really enthusiastic for the first sort of quarter.
Yeah.
By half time, I sort of wanted to
Once
go
you had
home.
your hot dog and your beer, you were like, that's enough now.
Yeah, well, do you know what's weird is that no one ever watches the game. Like, I remember coming out here and seeing Beckham play for the Galaxy. You know, me and my dad came out to LA and we were like, should we go and see a Galaxy game? And whereas at West Ham, there is the feeling that 35,000 people are all watching and reacting to the same thing. There is this like communal feeling of a crowd. Whereas for the Galaxy, it's like people are walking around, people are, buying hot dogs. There's no real sort of concentration on the game. Like, you can tell the foreigners because they're the ones watching the football. Like, I think that's changing slightly now, but it's just a different feel. Like the chants are different too. Have you been to American sport?
No,
Have you been to,
I have actually been. I've not been to a soccer match. I've done baseball, which I loved, Fenway Park, bizarrely, and and the ice hockey as well in Boston as well. But I've never. I must admit, I love the NFL. I have to say.
The football, the American football. Yeah. I mean, I can sort of. As with most sport, you need to know the story. You need to be able to get into the story, like a narrative, and I just never been able to do it.
Listen, there's never been a really good, I'm going to say this, has there been? I don't think there has. A really good football movie made, has there? When Saturday Comes, what do you call it was in it? Sheffield United. My mind's going.
Oh, yeah, Sean Bean.
I think that was called When Saturday Comes.
When Saturday Comes, Tony Curry.
Here's one for you. On When Saturday Comes, a friend told me this, and I don't know whether this is true. Martin Tyler did the spoof commentary on the game at the end of When Saturday Comes. This is When Saturday Comes, isn't it? That Sean Bean thing.
Yeah.
So he did a spoof commentary, and he used TV sports people on the other team to Sean Bean's. I think he was playing for Sheffield United. So he said McCaffrey was mentioned.
No.
Yeah, I'm telling you, that's what somebody told me. I mean, if somebody wants to check that out and let me know, please feel free to do. Yeah, apparently.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah, no, When Saturday Comes was a decent one. Tony Curry was in that. My dad pointed that out. That's how I learned who Tony Curry was. And are you forgetting also the Sylvester Stallone?
Yes.
The one, there was a film and there was Pele, Sylvester Stallone, John Walk, Bobby Moore,
Osvaldo Ardiles. Escape to victory.
That's it, and it ended with Sylvester Stallone dribbling the entire team as the goalkeeper and scoring a goal.
Listen, we're getting down the thing. Who's the most famous kind of actor-y person you've met?
Let's see. Probably in terms of just fame alone, probably Mark Wahlberg.
And do you go, hi Mark, how are you? Or is it just like you sort of crossed him in the street? Were you in a film with him? Oh, you were in Patriot's Day. Was he in that?
Yeah.
What's he like?
Yeah, he was in that one. Yeah, nice fella. Like, I had a bit of a shocker actually. Like, because we met and we'd done a few. No, in fact we hadn't, but we'd been on set together, and we'd met. And as with most people of that level, he's very good with like remembering people's names and like really, quite a bit of a class act in that way. And on set, it was early in the morning. We're doing a scene in this hospital in Boston.
Yeah.
And he's come in, and he said, I seen him come in. And he's gone, "Oh, hi, Chris," and that kind of took me by surprise. I didn't think he'd remember having met me the other day. And he goes in for a fist bump. I go in for a handshake. We both change mid, and there's a sort of like, and it was like, there was patting. There was like, and it was, oh God, it was this most. Indescribable. It could have been so wonderful. But like, hi Chris, oh hi Mark, yeah, fist bump, that's it, great, just do that.
Yeah.
But no, it had to be awkward and horrific. So he was great in terms of like who was the best that I met. The biggest sort of thrill I met meeting John Goodman.
Say that again. We lost you there. You just dropped out. Say that again.
So meeting John Goodman, probably my favorite.
Brilliant. What was that? Was that? Were you working together? Was that Patriot's Day as well? Was it?
Yeah. He was in that, and It's my first day, and we've gone down to the bus at about 5 a.m. and there's just me in the car, and there's a fella in the front passenger seat, and it's John Goodman, and he was like, all right, and I was like, yeah, all right. And it was like 5 a.m. and I wanted to gush and talk to him, but then I just thought, no, if you get in the car at 5 a.m., there's nobody wants to do that. No. So we just sat in silence for like 10 minutes.
Yeah,
it was
being cool.
Awkward silence.
Listen, it's fantastic talking to you. What would you rather do? Be part of a Liverpool team that won the Premier League or / Champions League or win an Oscar?
What position am I playing for Liverpool?
I think it's going to be centre forward with all the glory, and probably get the winner as well.
Cool. I'd be a sort of deep lying forward, just so you know, playing in the hole, sort of a Bobby Firmino, but like back in the day, like a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
But I digress. Probably the Oscar.
Ladies and gentlemen, Chris O'Shea. Chris, brilliant seeing you, mate. All the very best.
Thanks,